Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hi. Good morning. Morning. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Thumbs up or oh, good. Hi, Patricia. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
It looks like we are a small and intimate group today, which is kind of nice. I held like a kind of a larger gathering last month for the same topic, but I think these are such beautiful, intimate circles, and we're talking about some things that are so intimate, so we can have some time to share. I want to share my screen at some point. But before we start, I'd like to take a moment for us to settle in and kind of arrive into this space. So I invite you to just close your eyes. Take one nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One cleansing breath. Take a moment to feel your body and just check in with your heart. And I want us to imagine that regardless of these screens, that we've all come into a circle. Find the time to fully arrive in that image. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes and commune with each other in our set circle. So this topic is interesting because when we talk about, self-reflection in general, I think we're really talking about taking a moment to stop time in the present so that we can travel back into time, into, our hearts that store all of these memories. But for us to get there, we must slow down. And I really think that's the hardest part. So I wanted to offer this webinar specifically because for many of us, including myself, self-reflection can, either be scary or a huge, undertaking, or sometimes the question pops up like, how do I even begin? Where do I start? So I wanted to take some time here and share some practices and tips on how to dive deeper into the self in a way that we can get to the core of our spirit and remember our life, our soul's mission, and what we have to share with others along the way. So a lot of these teachings that I'll be sharing have been taught by my Wirrarica and Mayan teachers, who I feel are ever so present when I talk about this. So we can, since we have a little time and it's like a small group, we can take some time and introduce ourselves. Who are you? Who are you in this present moment? How are you feeling today? If a brave soul wants to jump in and introduce themselves at this time, they're more than welcome to. Yeah.
I'm a brave soul, but I'm trying to also turn my video on, and anyway, can you hear me?
Yes, Lorraine, I can hear you.
Okay. My name is Laureen. I am a 35-year employee at the Lyric Opera of Chicago, having the gift of voice for my profession. I am deep in grief for many years because my 60-year-old husband was diagnosed with early onset dementia at the age of 52. He is miraculously still alive, yet he doesn't have much going for him other than a heartbeat. And so it's very traumatizing to watch somebody who was vibrant and alive and a smart dentist by profession be just reduced to a shell of himself. And in contrast, a very, very dear friend of mine a year ago, shockingly and suddenly related to COVID, died on August 28th of 21. So I'm suffering the pain of a quick and unexpected loss and a torturously long and sad loss. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
Lorraine, our hearts go out to you. It's also good to see you again. But you're muted, but thanks for being here. We're here holding space as well for you. Anyone else wants to introduce themselves? This is a good time. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. Hi, I'm Elise. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm in a bit of just a deep dive of kind of sharpening my intuition and going to different message circles and things like that. I'm actually about to begin a year-long program that I was accepted into by the Zen Center for Contemplative Care. It's called Foundations in Contemplative Care. And actually it's learning really how to bear witness and hold space for people who are dealing with aging, illness, loss, or end of life. And I like to do workshops like this because I think it helps inform who I am. I'm actually a filmmaker and a TV producer. And so for me, this kind of work really informs my ability to sit with others that I'm documenting. So thanks for having me.
That's so fascinating how like interconnected all of these like life teachings are happening at the same time and how you're integrating them. I love hearing that about people's journey, how they like, just take fruit from different trees and like apply it to something beautiful. Thank you for being here. Any other brave soul? If not, it's okay. Don't worry. We can jump right into the material. I just figured we have time, so why not?
I'll jump in. My name is Adrienne. You've seen my face before. Let's see. My pronouns are she and her. I am joining from land that was once the Tawakoni and Wichita peoples, now known as East Texas. I'm coming here as a part of my own soul's journey, really. I've been on a deeply spiritual journey and healing journey over the last year and a half or so. And so by that, it for me means really all of my attention and focus has been on examining my own relationship to spirituality and many different traditions. So I love your analogy of fruit of different trees, because that is exactly what I've been experiencing, is learning from the wisdom of all parts of the world, how we relate to ourselves, how we relate to creation, how we relate to other living beings. other spirit beings, and different ways of understanding and framing, I think, this experience of life that we have. And some of that also is reflecting back on my own life journey and being able to reprocess my relationship to some very painful memories, some very difficult experiences as well, and alchemize that into something useful and new for myself. So it touches on a lot of different areas. I've thoroughly enjoyed every opportunity I've had to sit with you. And the offerings that you bring, they've been very, very supportive for me. And so I'm also kind of deciding what's the entry point to like a deeper dive, because I think there's a lot of fruit. and I've resonated so much, so I'm just really sitting with like what's the entry point for deeper work for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. It's such a blessing to see you again. I was wondering if I'll see you this morning or not. I was like, I hope so. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, different fruit. And
let me know if there's one I missed, because
no, I think you got them all. I think you did it. But yeah, I think all of these offerings are just, yeah, they're beautiful. There's so many teachers out there, so it's hard. I know I have that too, where I'm just like, everyone's teaching something so awesome, because everyone has like an inner teacher and an inner student. And so for me, like sharing any of this is just my way of like diving deeper into being a student. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me as well. So thank you for all of you guys for joining today. I guess we're gonna go ahead and dive in if everyone feels complete with introductions. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen so that you guys can see. Can everyone see okay? All right, perfect. So yeah, my name is Mariana Bandera Marin. I'm an anthropologist, I'm an archaeologist, and I'm also a curandera from the lineage of Pies Descalzos, and I facilitate cacao ceremonies under the guidance of my Quiche Mayan teachers. I'm actually drinking a cup right now, so you're all here with me. I've been fascinated in studying rites of passages and how people specifically connect to others and transmit wisdom. I know these practices vary and they change all over the world, but at their core, they've been done and have been done and are still alive today to help us take a sacred time to look inward and help the next generation on their soul's path and to be illuminated and enlightened. So this work is actually very precious to me, and it's been a journey for me as well. So the first concept I really want to talk to you guys about is El Camino. My teachers talk about this concept a lot. El Camino, or our soul's path, it looks different for everyone. I was told by one of my Mayan Quiche teachers that we are all stars from other galaxies who have materialized here on Earth to learn, to share, to teach, to inspire, to enjoy, and that we each have a mission and purpose. And for them, they use like the calendar to see what your mission in life is. It's been done in so many different cultures on what your divine purpose is for being here on this earth. But I think intuitively we can understand that as well. But to unravel that, that mission, I feel like that is to live in our truest sense of self. And I believe that once we understand that, it guides our compass straight in our camino. So they call this sacred path of our lives a spiritual path, and it's called the Sakbe. It's actually also archaeologically, it's also an actual physical path in the Yucatan Mayan world, where it's a white road that connects two sacred sites. So like Chichen Itza, for example, there is a white path that connects to Yaxuna, for example. It's another temple, it's another sacred site. And all of this had this interconnected webs of sacred paths. So it's as much of a physical aspect for, the Mayan world as it is a spiritual aspect. But in order to do this, in order to remember unearth this path, I think we must remember our spirit. And so to invoke our spirit, to remember why it's here on this terrestrial plane is probably the most important mission that we have. It's our initial step, our initiation, right? My teacher says we're all spirits and spiritual guides going through a terrestrial experience. And I think to understand this and to integrate it into our own life, to feel this, to remember it, is at the essence of how we begin this process of self-reflection. So to connect to our spirit and to remember our spirit and slowly begin to remember and feel our mission in life and feel our path again. So before we kind of dive into a little bit more of the practical and tactical exercises, I just want to take a minute to really ground ourselves with this idea. So we can open with a small meditation. I'd like to guide you. I know it's kind of quick into the webinar, but if we want, we can take an opportunity, and I invite you to one more time, just close your eyes. I know we're all in a circle. You can rub your hands together. And once they are warm, you feel a little kinetic energy. Place them on your heart. Just take a moment to connect with your heart. This life force inside of you that fuels you and guides you. And just ask yourself, how your path is. How are you walking? Where are you walking? You can ask your spirit, or even say hello. Hi, spirit. I hear you, I feel you. You flow through me. Show me the way. Take one nice cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Once you feel connected and ready to come back to circle, you can open your eyes. There is a longer meditation for this unearthing of the sakbe that I am working on. And I want to share it with you guys once this webinar repeat is live. But just so you know that there's 2 meditations for this specific one. There's so much we can do with this topic in general, I think. So all of us on this terrestrial plane have gone through different experiences that have marked us, that have enlightened us or made us make a decision, showed us a mirror to reflect on. Each one of our maps are very different. The map I'm showing you here is the Aztec migration map from a codice. And I love this depiction as an example of our own life maps, because I feel like it's very true to the nature of how we move in the world. It's mystical, it's full of symbolism. I feel like if it's not, then it's just very mundane and boring. But it's something's coming to me that, like, for example, one of the biggest memory triggers that we have is the sense of smell, right? And I think even a smell is a symbolism. Like, for example, if lavender, for example, was a medicine that was soothing to you during a time period, I mean, that in and of itself is a symbolical moment of life, and lavender can be used for a symbol. So this first practice, or homework that I have for you, is I invite you to create the map of your life. And I'm gonna guide you through this because I know that sounds like a big project, but because there's so many moments, right? But for this exercise, just pick 3 moments of your life that have forever changed you on your path. It can be any moment of your life, just a starting point to map the rest of the landscape. So you can take your time here and you can write 3 moments that immediately pop up for you. It can be a moving, it can be a love story, it could be an end to something, the beginning of something. I'll give you guys a minute to reflect on this. When you're ready, you can put a little thumbs up on the chat. Or How is everyone doing? Even if you have one or two, that's okay. I know this is probably the hardest part. How to choose. Does everyone feel okay to keep going? Yes. Patricia, Shannon, how are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Amazing. So these 3 moments, or any moment that you've chosen, we're going to dive into them and place a symbol next to them. This act of adding symbology to an event is something that has been used since our ancient hominid ancestors. The ones that I'm showing you here, they're called petroglyphs or pictographs. These specific ones are from the Moab in Utah, made by our venerated Dene earthly ancestors. So a petroglyph is an image that's carved or incised or scratched into stone, and a pictograph is a painting. It's used with natural pigments. So just to know that there's 2 different types. Each are very sacred. This is the archaeologist in me. They're very sacred. There are completely miracles that they are still here. So if you ever see one, don't touch it. Just leave it alone. You can take a picture, keep walking. But just know that these are portals. These are actual, like there's like a rawness to it. If you ever see one in your path, that these are also messages for us, for the future. But anyway, these actions of adding symbology to our life has been done for centuries. In psychology, it's helped with so many type of reflections, so many therapies, even like with post-traumatic events, specifically, it's been used that once the event is integrated and has been initiated, the process of healing, adding a symbol to it can actually help the person actually talk about it and dive into it. Even for example, for foster children that have gone through, these foster cares, like they've been working with them to add symbology and to add masks, to paint masks, in order for them to actually speak about the event and like all the healing process. So symbology in and of itself has helped humans unravel life in a lot of ways. Because I mean, like my teachers say, like earth is like kind of a dense place for our souls, for our spirit. And so many events happen that our system is, trying to somatically understand and like put it into place, that sometimes there are these tools that have been shared with us by our ancestors, our earthly ancestors, that it can help with these processes. So I do need to make a point that if for this specific exercise, If one of your pivotal moments you've chosen is a traumatic experience that has not been worked on or healed, I suggest that for this exercise, you choose another one. I say this because our mission here is to dive into the essence of each of these moments to help with the symbolism. However, with like traumatic events, we do this when we've already worked with that wound, with the, it's like the post. So just a little heads up for you guys as well. So our symbols can be anything: animals, humans, gods, plants, material, furniture, color. I don't want to overcomplicate this practice with too much theory, because this is the instinctual and reflective creative process. And this is really the process of the subconscious that with practice will become easier to tap into. I've been taught that we all have sacred caves when we meditate or reflect, we go into. In Chinese medicine, for example, when we sleep, we go into the cave of the heart. And in meditation, we usually go into the cave of ourselves. And these symbols will slowly begin to appear. And sometimes they even become guides for us. There is a beautiful book by Carl Jung. It's called Man and His Symbols, and describes that symbols are produced at times expressed in geometric forms: humans, semi-humans, gods, goddesses, animals, plants. And their symbolic content arises from the unconscious to the consciousness through archetypes. There is, we can go into a whole symbology course, but really this is a creative, instinctual part of this reflection. In other past cohorts, for example, a couple that I can share with you all is, there's this woman who said that maternity in and of itself, she put a chair for this chapter of her life of maternity. And I was like asking, I was like, why a chair? And she said that, well, because life literally with children, it sat me down into the present moment. It made me have to sit with every single decision, every moment in my life. I have to be very present. And so for her, a chair symbolized, being still, stillness. There's another one that it's a fork in the road. And it was a decision that she had to make with her partner, whether to have children or not. And it's this fork in the road that has helped her talk about those decisions, because it was like the opportunity for each one of those paths, and to be able to dive into path 1 and path 2 in my reflection. It helped me with this fork of my 2 lives, my parallel lives, or like she called them the sliding doors. I think it's a movie with like Gwyneth Paltrow, like the sliding door effect of, one parallel universe you're something, and the other one you're another. But yeah, that was the fork in the road. There was another one I wanted to share with you all. Oh, the water bear. That one was really beautiful. It was an older woman. She was about 84. And we had been talking about the mother crone maiden archetype. And she really resonated with there's a goddess Ixchel from the Yucatan Mayan, who at one point, it's this woman, she's an older woman, and she has a water vase and she's pouring it onto the earth. And she like resonated with that, because she's like, she told me she was she felt that at her time, 84, she can only give. There's this fluidity of life where you have to keep nourishing others, keep nourishing and watering others, Mother Earth. And that was her big reflection during that time, that she was just there to water others. I thought that was really beautiful for that chapter in her life. But it can be anything. It really can. It can be a color. This other, a younger woman, she had the color a sphere that was blue, that it resonated with her, and actually in the meditation that we're about to do, she said that she's been practicing using her voice, and the color blue is usually, like lapis lazuli, and she drew it out into this part of her, what's it called, into her throat chakra was opening up. She's been able to talk a little bit more about that, about using the power of her voice through this new coming chapter. So it can be a chapter that's, you're in it right now, it's not just past, but it's the present as well. So yeah, we're gonna go into a small meditation. I'm gonna guide you into one of these moments and see if any symbology can come out, if any guide is there as well for you for this moment in time. I will say that after this meditation, these symbols can be used creatively. It can be used as a part of your own reflection for that time period, like almost like a memory map. You think about it, and then you can actually reflect on it. You can color it, you can draw it out, you can watercolor it, you can make it into a clay, ceramics. It's really yours to undertake that creative process. We have a cohort that's coming up next year, where it's actually a 3-month cohort, but we go into that creative process once we have all of our symbols mapped out. We go into the creative process of each one and kind of reflect on it together. But that's a huge undertaking. I'm just showing you a couple of little tricks for today. So this meditation, we will go back in space and time to feel the essence of that time period. So when you're ready, I invite you to join in. If you are not able to meditate during this time, do not worry. The replay of all of this will come out and you will be able to reflect then as well. So let's take a deep breath in. In through the nose. We're going to do 3 cleansing breaths. At your own pace, in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more time, when you're ready, create friction with your hands. Going to connect with the heart space where your memories are stored. Take a moment to feel your heartbeat. and to connect to your secret self. Slow down your breathing and let your body guide you to relax. You can get more comfortable here. Bring your arms to a comfortable position. Drop your shoulders, relax your face. And just feel how you are in the here and the now. Feel your body as it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. It's as if your heart began to sprout roots to the earth. Feel them go down, down, down. Start to climb them. All the way down. Until you find yourself on a trail. What does this trail look like? How does the earth feel beneath your feet? Focus on every step you take as you go back to your sacred path. And back to your sacred memories of time. Follow this trail back until one of these memories come to you. this memory, the one that naturally appears, has chosen you to visit. What does it feel like to be back here? Does it have a color? Does the air have fragrance? Do you feel lightness or density being back in this place? Feel this moment and feel your heartbeat here again. Take the moment in. And as if your heart, your hands warmed up with beaming golden light, shine it to this moment in time. Send it love. And your past self love as well. And as if all of this light was concentrated, imagine this time materialize into a sphere that you can hold in your hands. What does this sphere look like when you're holding it? What color? Take a moment to feel it in your hands. Back on your trail, something appears in your path that wants to show itself to you. A guardian of this time and space of your life. A keeper of this memory. Who or what are they? What do they look like? How do they feel? Present yourself, and with care, allow yourself to give them the sphere of your memory, knowing that it will be kept safe. And that you can return to it at any moment your heart desires. Slowly walk back on the trail you came from. Leaving flowers in your footprints as trails. Back up to the roots you came down from. Climb them up, up, up. Back to your heart. Back to your body. And slowly come back to the space and time at your own pace. There's no rush. You can slowly begin to touch your fingertips, wiggle your toes, maybe take a deep breath. If you are here, we can begin with butterfly taps. Putting our hands crossed and tapping lightly. Allowing our body to integrate. Sometimes after meditation, it can be hard to integrate what we felt, what we saw, what came to us. And it can be even harder to speak. I want to ask how we're feeling. How was your journey? What showed up for you? But before I ask, I'm going to give our circle a little time to integrate and get back here fully. In the meantime, I can share with you this concept. If you're still completely not here, that's okay. This concept is our tree of life. It's something that various cultures have, from the Celtics to the Mexica to the Mayan. It's a concept that's found all over. And I wanted to introduce this to you because this practice of self-reflection is a healing art. So we have to ask, not why do you do this, but for what? Specifically in, the Mayan cosmovision, this tree of life, it represents our ancestors and our past at our roots. Our present moments of self are at the trunk. In our future, our flowers are our children and the branches. This tree not only represents our own experiences, our past, our present, our future, but the collective memory of humanity. I was taught that we register memories in our body and the body of the collective consciousness of all humanity. And so to go back in time, in memory, and to reflect and give meaning, to heal, to just think about, we're also doing the work for the betterment of humanity as a whole. And I love this concept because my teachers taught me, a deep dive, and healing to self brings sweetness to our roots and to our futures, to our flowers, because we're a consciousness incarnated. So this doesn't just apply to our direct bloodline, but for all of my relations. And this is what legacy really is. It's bringing sweetness to all of my relations. So now that we have a compass to guide you in the next couple memories, you are more than welcome to continue this practice and start building your map. This is one of the first things that we do in our life reflection groups, in our cohort. And then we go into writing about them, creatively doing that creative process I was telling you about, these symbols or whatever came up in the meditation. I recommend journaling about it. I recommend drawing it. You can use watercolor, you can use sketching, clay. It can be an artistic representation in any form that your heart desires. It's a beautiful process because this is also an integration practice for reflection. If you're interested at all, we have a spring cohort. Enrollments will be opening soon. I'm going to share this specific talk and the 2 meditations in the replay. But for now, I feel like we're all kind of here again. So I do want to ask how you're feeling. How was your journey? What's coming up for you? What spoke to you? We can open up the space. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen so we can see each other.